Hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment of The Real Podcasters, the show where we like to talk all things movies, TV shows, video games, and a bunch of other things in no particular order. My name is Regan, as ever, not alcoholic, I should stress. And I'm joined once again by my caffeinated youter of a co-host. It's Dan.
I mean, aren't predators just on caffeine, like, always, given that they can just swing from, like, the treetops at an immense speed?
I'm just picturing a version of Predator where, like, it's just put at, like, 2x speed, but only any time that, like, the Predator's actually on screen because he's really hyper. Which, by the way,
he's just
I
on
would
a
totally
sugar
watch
high. He's just actually been like sat in the tree
sugar
eating the
begins.
Blue Smarties, the ones that have the most amounts of sugar in them.
Right, hunting time. Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us for this week's episode of the podcast. We really do appreciate it. As has been hinted and confirmed by these little comments, we are going to be talking about Predator, which we haven't spoken about for a couple of years. We did speak about Prey when it first came out in 2022. Got a new Predator film coming out next month with Predator Badlands. Immediately, as you can tell as I'm talking, Predator and Yautja is not a good word for me with a stammer, so I'm going to have to try and work really hard on trying not to stammer too much, otherwise this is going to be a very long edit. Stop laughing at me. This is difficult, okay? It's really, really tough. But anyway, we're going to talk about...
You're going to have to, like, come up with some other word. Bless your poor heart.
There isn't one.
I would say
the problem. I can't think of anything else.
I would say, like, call it The Thing, but then everyone's going to think of the Thing. Like... So, yeah, tough bugger. You're going to have to just try your best, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Well, say we are. I am. We're going to be talking about Predator Killer of Killers, which technically came out a few months ago and is currently streaming on Disney+. We'll be doing full spoilers for this movie. It is readily available if you've got Disney+. So I'll kick things off with, as what I like to do, is go over to my amazing co-host with his Jaws t-shirt to basically just explain, like, what the fuck is this thing?
To
swearing immediately.
To quote the iconic Kunk.
Oh, that couldn't have gotten any better.
There we go, the coffee is on.
Very, very well done.
See, I know my internet reels when I see them.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, well, essentially you've got a little anthology here created by Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who did the last Predator installment, Prey. We did speak about it, so if you want to have a good old listen to that.
I mean, you don't really have to. It's 3
you don't
years
have
old.
To, but, please.
Yeah, please. Do it.
Please. So you've got these 3 stories leading into a penultimate one in the end, and you're starting off with a story called The Shield, which is set in Scandinavia in 841, the year of the Vikings. Yes. And then, Viking warrior versus Predator, and then we go to 1609 in Japan, so you've got the age of the samurai, clashes with samurai families, and again, Japan, samurai versus the Predator, always an interesting concept that I've wanted to see for years, actually. Mm-hmm. And then you finish off in 1942 with The Bullet, where a guy is drafted into the US Navy as a fighter pilot. And, yeah, fighter pilot versus intergalactic warrior. And then penultimately ending in what is titled The Battle, where basically all the characters from these periods of time are placed into a suspended animation by the Predators. They're taken to essentially like what is intergalactic Rome Colosseum to basically just fight each other.
What a way to look at it.
Yeah, but it basically is that they're just essentially taken to the space version of the Colosseum to fight it out, and whoever is the victor is, well, the victor, and is seen as like a worthy warrior in the eyes of the Predators, I guess.
The Killer of Killers.
Yes, the Killer of Killers.
Wow. Yeah, this film, I mean, first and foremost, I'm pretty sure we both have pretty much the same opinion. This movie is absolutely magnificent. I absolutely love
to quote
this.
that guy on the internet, it's
Which one,
all
me?
right.
Get lost. Is it actually... okay, here's the thing, because I saw it first. I think I saw it on the release. You're laughing now, so I think I'm feeling okay now. Because I kind of pushed you to watch this for a good few weeks. And it took you a while.
Pushed?
Yeah. I nagged you.
I was getting like a message every day. So have you watched Predator Killer of Killers yet?
Have you watched it yet, Dan? Daniel? Mr. Quinn?
11
Hello?
o'clock at night. Get ready for bed. So have you watched it yet?
Just like, bedtime. Have you watched Killer of Killers yet?
No, like, bloody hell.
You really must have seen me as like the northern version of Freddy Krueger, except all I'm doing is just like is like harassing you about a single film.
Or
Have you watched it yet?
Freddy Krueger, like I think it was like a Family Guy skit ages ago when the fellas find like the funniest joke ever conceived, and they basically pay Freddy Krueger to go into Peter Griffin's dreams and tell the joke. I can imagine you doing that, actually telling Freddy Krueger to tell me to watch Predator Killer of Killers.
Yeah, that took a while.
He had a really busy schedule.
Yeah, clearly. No, I was pleasantly surprised by this one in a variety of ways. I mean, I remember when the next one coming out, which is Badlands, was announced, and then it was said that Dan Trachtenberg directed that, and he also directed a secret film in the series. And I'm sat there thinking, you can't do that. That is quite unlikely of a scenario to be in, where suddenly we've got a secret film in the Predator franchise. You could get away with it previously with Prey, because no one really was expecting one, because the previous Predator film was complete dog shit. I think.
Yeah, that's putting
I
it
can't
lightly.
remember if I did actually watch it.
It was by Shane Black, and it is like the absolute worst thing. And I mean, like, we're bringing in like AVP Requiem into that as well.
That's saying
Like,
a lot. I'd probably
is-
still think the Requiem's worse.
I mean,
Although I suppose the benefit of Requiem is that you can't actually see it.
yeah, exactly. Whereas
the
last
Predator
film, you could unfortunately see a great deal of it.
Yeah. And
It was awful.
Yeah. And like I said, we did cover Prey. I mean, I still absolutely love that movie.
It is fantastic. I've only ever watched it once.
Just
Believe it or not.
Yeah, that's not the case for me. At least once a year. I don't think I've watched it this year yet, actually. But I will definitely catch it before seeing the next one. This movie surprised me in so many ways. I can't remember where this is in my ranking for Predator, because
I've got a feeling it's probably like rated probably the highest, if not Prey being the highest.
Prey is definitely higher for me. I think just because I was just so blown away by just how simple that film was, but also just bringing Predator back in such a way where I was like, I actually really want to see more. Doesn't necessarily have to be with this particular time period, which I'd be totally fine with, but I wanted to see the Predator in different time periods. That's what we get here. And this was the only way to do it, I think. I know there was plenty of people saying, oh, well, you could have done it in live action. No, I don't think this movie would have worked, because, especially with certain moments, such as planes flying between buildings,
exactly.
I'm not seeing that in live
realistic
action and
about
not
it.
snorting, to be honest.
Yeah, you gotta be realistic with it, I think.
Yeah,
And
but
you
I
know,
think
considering like three of it's stretched across a 90-minute runtime, so like each section is about 30 minutes each. So like expanding on that by another like 30 minutes, you're gonna have a bit of a oddly paced film, I think.
And that's the thing as well, is what I appreciated with Trachtenberg previously with Prey is that he very much made Predator feel quite unique, and that's clearly what he's doing with all these, especially with the upcoming one in November, where the Predator is the protagonist, which...
Well, yeah, but it is so unique in a way because every other Predator film, like, it's always set in, like, a modern time. I mean, like, the only time that it's ever really touched upon, like, a different time was the first two films where, you know, you've got, like, post-war Vietnam and all this stuff in the first film, and then the second one is sort of set in like an 80s like grimy city, like riddled with gangsters, drug addicts, all this sort of stuff,
which I do really
but
like.
it's always set in like modern eras, which is I think is just a bit repetitive, to be honest. It's like, what happens if the Predator lands down in 2025 and he's hit with the cost of living crisis, you know? It's like, you know, like how many like bloody space credits is he gonna have to fork out to park at the Metro Center? You know what I mean? Like, so going back to like eras. I mean, as I said before, you know, I've always wanted to see the Predator go against the greatest samurai warriors, because I think that's what a lot of fans have wanted to see for bloody years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great when you've got this film that just starts off with different time periods, and they're not like exactly specific time periods. I mean, you've got like 841, 1609, 1942. Like, you know, they're not exactly like dead
nice
on,
round
you know?
numbers.
It's not like the last one is set exactly in 1945. You know, the year that World War II pretty much just explodes into finale.
Yeah.
But bloody hell, I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's... I think as well, especially when it comes to the visuals, because I think it's... This could have only happened, and I've got to give me major credit to Into the Spider-Verse for completely revamping what an animated movie can actually look like.
Yes.
Because I don't need a photorealistic Pixar-looking movie about the Predators. At the same time, if Pixar did decide they want to do a Predator film, I'm going to be absolutely all for that, because that sounds quite funny. But I like how scrappy and sort of like haphazard this movie looks, because
I think it kind of has like a comic-y image to it.
It looks very graphic novel. I really love the look of this movie, and it's also... I love how violent it is as well. Like, it doesn't pull any punches at all, and rightfully so.
When I first went into it, I thought it was going to be pretty tame.
It was the Shield for me, and I was just like, hey, right, okay, we're going there.
Yeah,
and the Predator
definitely.
still hasn't actually rocked up. Everyone is just killing people left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like pretty tame. No,
Yeah.
the first like story is just it's just laced with blood.
I mean, I figured given,
Then again, it's about Vikings. What do you expect?
Exactly, yeah. I expect it to be very, very violent.
You can't exactly expect them to do a handshake and not throw an axe into somebody's face. You know, it's just not going to work.
Oh no, absolutely not. But what I appreciate, especially with doing these three different time periods, is that, yeah, all three are violent in their own ways, but it enables us to have very unique encounters with the Predator that you can't have in any other time. So it's far more barbaric in the first one. It's almost graceful in the second one. And then it's quite... I mean, I couldn't figure out the word. I thought it was quite systematic in the third, because it's all with the fighter jets, but it's all everyone using their wits and cleverness to figure out how to kill the Predator instead of just punching it over and over and over again, because there's no point in that, because you're just not going to last long.
Like that 87 movie, Testosterone the movie.
I will say, I do really love that first movie. I haven't watched it for years.
It is. I watched it at some point this year, quite early on, and yeah, it is fantastic. Maybe I prefer Prey over it though, just because I just like seeing...
I do too, so it's fine.
This guerrilla type warfare of wits to deal with an intergalactic warrior, rather than just go into a forest guns blazing and hoping for the best.
Well, no, exactly, because I mean, especially when you watch that first film, that is the entire point. You open up with a character that is clearly designed to beat the ever-loving shit out of you, and he can't use that to actually beat the enemy for once, and of course he gets Schwarzenegger to do it, because it's just the perfect image to do that, and so he has to strip everything back and use...
But yeah, the
use
last
his
chunk
wits
of it is like, well, guns don't work, I guess we're going to do this thing guerrilla tactic style.
Exactly, and it's still fascinating that people are still complaining about that with Prayer, because it does exactly the same thing, but just in a different time period, which you could argue, yeah, we've just done this again. But I also care way more about Naru as a character than I did Dutch.
Oh, well, definitely.
Which,
100%.
I mean, yeah, I mean, who was really going into the first film thinking, right, I can't wait to see his, like, 3-arc storyline. I can't wait to see all that. Like, you're not going to get that.
No,
you're just not.
You're not.
And
I mean, there was somebody on Letterboxd that they put a review where you get the shot of Carl Weathers and Arnie, and they do like the thing with the arms, and all you see is like these sweaty biceps, and it just sets the entire movie up for what it's all about. It is like that's why I call it Testosterone the movie.
Yeah, it kind of is. But what I also love with this movie as well, where Prey very much stripped it back a bit and took it back to basics. This movie's like, yeah, you know what? Let's just actually go balls to the wall craziness with the lore of the Predators, giving us essentially a reason for why they keep on popping up across the centuries. They're looking for the greatest champion.
I've just literally remembered that they did try to kind of do this with a certain entry, and it just failed miserably.
That was Predators, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can barely remember.
You know what it is? It's probably somewhat of a miracle that I've remembered that. But yeah, that's the only time, this is before this film came along. This was the only time where you kind of got a bit more of a story about why the Predators are here. And, it sort of follows the same line that they pick a bunch of random people from all walks of life to compete against, I think it's like a set of trials, and they have to use their wits and stuff about it. And it's pretty rubbish, not gonna lie. And I think the only thing I really remember is like 2 of the people survive out of the whole ordeal, and they face off against like the King Predator.
The Predator.
He has like a little robe and everything.
Which I suppose this one also has a robe, but it's also made out of tales of the xenomorph, which is what I think it is personally.
I clicked on and I was just like,
it's like, and especially with like the one coming up soon, and I'm starting thinking, right, can you just please just explicitly just put one in instead of just dancing around the idea that these 2 franchises are connected? Because I never minded that they're connected. And I still maintain the Badlands is going to feature this particular Predator going after a xenomorph because it can't be killed. And my God, I legitimately... I wouldn't be shocked if it's not that, truthfully. I'm still really excited for that one. But if that does happen, I am going to be the happiest man on the planet, because I really... Because, we've spoken about it before with the Alien vs. Predator movies. By all accounts, they're not very good. But I've got such nostalgia for that first movie because it introduced me to both of these franchises, for better or for worse. But just the idea of a Predator going up against a xenomorph is just a fascinating image.
In the second Predator, you get into the last chunk of the film where the lead protagonist basically infiltrates the Predator ship, and I'm sure there's a xenomorph skull on the trophy wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is. Which is why it all just
kicked off,
even
and before AVP came
God!
Out, they were gunning to set this up. I mean, this is like a 90s film as well.
Yeah, and it's a 90s comic, and even the AVP movies in the early to mid 2000s are clearly just made in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's like, when it comes to something versus something, very rarely does it actually work out, and the concept of the Alien versus the Predator I have always really liked, so that's why I want to see that. So there is a part of me that is still smirking when you see the Grendel King. I love that as a name. I think that's such a cool idea. And if its cape is actually made out of the bones of a xenomorph, I think that's really, really cool. But at the same time, if it is, and they don't follow through on that in Badlands, I'll be annoyed.
I'll be upset. Extremely upset.
Yeah. But I actually really like the fact, because it kind of pays off an idea from Predator 2, when Danny Glover's character actually beats the Predator, and they essentially leave him the gun.
They leave him like some bloody like flintlock pistol or something, don't they?
Which pops up in Prey, and also in this as well.
Yes, it does.
And it's almost like a mark of respect, being like, well done. You actually did the thing that we didn't think you were going to do, so very well done. We are going to leave now. Bye. We are never going to come back for you, ever. Never again.
Oh, yeah, because they have like the battle at the in the ship, and then kills the Predator, and then a load of other ones come out, and you think, oh god, what's happening here? And then they just chuck him a bloody pistol, and it's like, all right, see ya, you're done good, bye.
Ta-ra, goodbye.
Yeah.
Because as well, I like the idea that the Predators actually it adds more to that idea, because in this one, the winners of each of these stories then gets kidnapped by the Predators, taken to Space Rome. Space Rome.
Space Coliseum.
Yeah, and then they're forced to fight each other to become the killer of killers, and then fight like the head of this particular clan of Yautja.
Well, yeah,
is it Yautja or Yautja? I don't remember how you actually pronounce it.
I've never bothered to try and even like
shocker with you.
I've never,
because your pronunciation skills are adorable.
Oh, I've just always called them the Predators. I think that's just nice and easy. There's no complex words involved.
Because I think one of my favorite moments in this entire movie is especially because I didn't know that was how this movie was going to play out, because I just thought it was the three stories, and then I sort of paused it when I was about midway through the bullets, and I was like, either this is just going to be a really long one, or something else is going to happen, and then I caught on to the fact that, oh, hang on a second, well, shit, we're actually doing something very interesting now. And I love the fact that all three of them are able to put like their sort of like issues aside and actually work together to try and get off this planet. So I was like, right, now I just want to see this group just in a massive chase with the Predators for like an entire movie. I'll be totally down for that. But the way that it ends as well, which I was not expecting, because obviously the ending of Prey alludes to the possibility that the Predators do come back after Naru beats that one feral one. And then in the end of this movie, you see as Ursa's being carted away, you see Naru has been put into suspended animation as well. And to make it even cooler, I don't know if you know about this one, the extended version of this, which isn't on Disney Plus, annoyingly. You see Naru, and then it pans along to show Danny Glover's character from Predator 2 and Dutch from. And I was like,
why isn't it extended on Disney Plus?
I don't know. Because I rewatched this again a couple of nights ago, and I thought it was going to be on there just by default, because it doesn't have like the other versions or extended cut or anything, it just has it. So I thought, okay, surely it's going to be on here. So I don't know why it was exclusive to Comic-Con, frankly. I don't understand why. Granted, I have seen it. I have seen those final 15 seconds and people losing their minds.
Not surprised.
Well, that's the thing, because on the one hand, it's Comic-Con, everyone loses their minds anytime a person blinks. So, on the one hand, the reaction is pointless, but at the same time, it says a lot that for a franchise that has basically just been running on fumes for decades, is now suddenly back in the public conscious, and people are actively excited to see what comes next. I don't mind the fact that Trachtenberg has actually just been given the keys to the entire franchise and just said, right, just let yourself loose. Do whatever you want. And he's actually been given the space to do that, because we're still at this point in cinema where I don't feel like there's enough risks being taken with big franchises, because, return on investment.
I think they play it quite safe, to be honest.
Yeah, which I mean, this movie can easily get away with it because it's just on streaming, which is maddening, because I would totally have, exactly the same as Prey, I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen. That would have been
Prey was director streaming as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Which was... Yeah. I kind of hope that Disney would have put out a bit of money and decided, let's put it back in cinemas before Badlands comes out, because I would have done that in a heartbeat, easily. Alas, we haven't, but at least we are getting a Predator movie on the big screen, and I hope to God that it does work.
Which will be like the first Predator film on the big screen since that travesty in like 2018, I think it was.
2018, yeah, it's been 7 years.
Yes,
it's been 84 years, it feels like.
Yeah.
Titanic versus Predator. A Predator on the loose on the Titanic as it's sinking. Box office. There is one.
I was saying
that's
about,
not even a terrible idea.
You got to be a bit sensible with them.
That is sensible.
Wasn't the iceberg? It was actually the Predator.
Yes.
It was the Predator's ship.
Yeah,
disguised as an iceberg.
I was about to say you could retcon the sinking of the Titanic, but it's actually a real thing, so I have to be careful with how I can word it. It wasn't fictional. You could just replace the iceberg with the ship. The ship crashes in the water, and the Predator's also stranded on the Titanic. So then he is also stranded, and he's also at risk of freezing to death.
Well, see, now this is going to be a load of cursed AI art of just like the Predator in Jack's arms.
And you've ruined it. Never mind. I was thinking more like a slasher than anything else.
In a lovely silky yellow dress as well. Singing the song, but obviously the Predator doesn't really speak the grandest of English, so it's probably just be a load of clicks and yeah.
It's still got a better singing voice than a lot of other singers.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, as we wrap things up on Predator, Killer of Killers,
I'd like to see more stuff like this where you get the Predator just going off in different time periods, finding the toughest warriors from each time period. I think that would.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that could work. I mean, I'd love to see stuff that's like maybe like the height of like Crusades and stuff like that. Like, like finding the toughest knight or something like that. I think there's a lot of work that could actually be really good for this franchise.
Yeah, and like I said, the reason this works so well is because it is very, very different. It does have some similar beats, even just in each of the three films, but of course they are. It's about a person versus a predator. There's going to be similarities there.
Yeah.
But just shifting the setting, adding so much to the lore of the Predators, I think for the first time in a very long time, at least on the big, well, not on the big screen, on screen. I can't speak for the comics and stuff, obviously, because I don't really follow that. But it's nice to just see a bit of variety, and I just hope to God the Badlands lives up to my hopes and dreams for that movie, because then Trachtenberg is 3 for 3 on the best Predator movies ever, which is just, as someone who didn't grow up with this franchise at all, I got far more respect for it later on in life. It's the franchise I want to see continue more than anything else. Between this and Alien, I'd rather that one just be like, please just stop.
It's do a Dan Trachtenberg and please just do something different, for the love of God. It's kind of what like Predator before was, it's just running on fumes at this point, but this Alien seems to be doing a hell of a lot worse at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't even watched Alien Earth yet, and I've honestly just got no interest.
I gave up
in watching it.
I've read the plot of the rest of the episodes, and I can appreciate that one is trying to do something different, but it's also just not very interesting. So, and because it's quite boring in places, that for me makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Because, you can still grab my attention and be terrible, or you can just be mediocre, and I forget that it even exists. And that for me is a bigger sin, more than anything else.
So I guess, it's waiting until November. I can't wait till November.
Well, unfortunately, Dan, unfortunately, you're going to have to, because that's how
Yeah.
time works.
Yeah,
I'm exactly the same.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But, that is our thoughts on Predator, Killer of Killers. Technically, 3-4 months later, if I'm really going to go that far. I'm not going to put that in the thing. It was in June, I think it was. But yeah, that is our thoughts on that, and we will absolutely be covering Predator Badlands next month, unless it's absolutely god awful. I mean, to be honest,
it's not going to be. Like, I do actually have high hopes for it for once.
I do, yeah, and especially with that last trailer, and I was like, yeah, I am really sold on this, to be honest. Just for like a different take on Predator. It's really needed, like I say. But yeah, we'll be covering that next month. Now, obviously, immediately Dan has gone straight to the schedule, because of course he has. You can be excited a little bit, only a little bit. Well, yeah, because the way the next 2 episodes are going to work is that we are going to be, the next one officially, in terms of time, is going to be our Halloween all-nighter at the Tyneside for 2025. So we're going to be doing that at the end of October. So we will be doing some sort of recording after we get home. I'm not doing that in the car. Forget that. That was difficult last time. But we are also going to indulge in Dan's favourite film. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, God, no. No, that's it. I quit.
No, we are going to be covering John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. We will be recording that one.
It's the spooky season.
It's the
and
spooky
it just feels
season.
Right.
Technically, we will be back with our Halloween all-nighter special, and then we'll be back like this on the 31st for Halloween 1978. So we'll see you all then. And until then, it is goodbye from Dan.
Ta-ra.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.